What's up guys, the RedCloak here, and today is a special what if called What If Naruto Was in My Hero Academia. And no, I will not be forcing Naruto into the plot or into My Hero Academia. He's actually too overpowered for this, so we're gonna act like he's actually in the world of My Hero Academia. That means he's born in it. Let's see if we can actually hit like 30 likes. That means I will continue this what if, because I really do want to continue this what if. I am working hard on scripting this, and I already see that this story is actually going to be good. Start off with the backstory. Minato is going to be called Yellow Flash. That's his hero name. He's the 3rd ranked hero on the billboard. Minato's quirk is basically called Flash and Wind Release. Minato is one of the fastest moving heroes on the billboard, and there's an upside to his quirk where he can sneak attack his opponents or go behind them and use the wind release or condense the wind into a ball and shove it to their back. Minato can catch some villains if they're attempting to escape or completely leave the scene, so that's how fast he is. The only downside of this quirk is that if Minato or somebody is faster than Minato and stronger than him, he has no chance of winning, and if he's in an enclosed area, he doesn't really have a chance of teleporting anywhere. If you're asking, yes, the Nine-Tailed Fox is still around and still kills Minato, and the Nine-Tailed Fox is actually a mutant, a condensed mutant with a quirk. The Nine-Tailed Fox's quirk is basically called Beast Form. Well, the Beast Form is very simple to the Nine-Tailed form in Naruto. You guys may be asking, how's the Nine-Tailed Fox still alive? How come the hero agency didn't kill it, or the heroes didn't kill it? Well, it's kind of hard to kill, and it's kind of immoral because it is a mutant. So they actually decided to put it in children who are strong enough and strong-willed to keep it. Getting to Kushina, she doesn't have a quirk. Her quirk is basically the Nine-Tails quirk because she can basically control some of its power. Enough about these two, is about Naruto. Naruto's quirk is pretty simple. It's basically wind manipulation and some of the Nine-Tails chakra, or aka beast form. And this, people in My Hero actually treat Naruto a little bit better because even though he still has a beast, he's still a human. It doesn't mean they can treat him terribly. But still, people still hate him and still think he's a monster. But Naruto doesn't care. And Minato did ask All Might and Endeavor to at least take care of Naruto, or at least see him a little bit. And All Might and Endeavor would actually tell Naruto that his real parents were the number 3 hero, the Yellow Flash. Naruto then knows he has a lot to live up to, and he just decides that he's going to work hard and surpass his father. Now for Itachi, yes, Itachi's gonna be this, and so is Sasuke. Itachi actually doesn't slaughter the clan, so, well, there's no clan to slaughter. Itachi's actually the number 4 hero. He actually went to the agency with Hawks because he is a prodigy. Itachi's quirk is basically called Illusion. His second step to the quirk is called Armory. Illusion gives him the Nightmare Tsukuyomi and the Genjutsu thing, and Armory is basically the Susanoo, but he only gets it when he gets mad or angry or sad. Itachi and Hawks are actually best buddies. They actually talk a little bit, but Itachi has his own age. Sasuke and Itachi's father, well, he's a retired hero. He used to be the number 5 hero, but Itachi took his. For Sasuke's quirk, it's illusion and lightning manipulation. The lightning came from his mother. This world, the Uchiha didn't get slaughtered, so Sasuke has no reason to be bitter or angry. He's actually pretty happy and content with life. He actually loves Itachi and his family. Overall, Sasuke's just a better person. He's just kind of competitive. Well, not as competitive as he used to be. Getting to Naruto's story, Naruto actually is friends with Deku because they go to the same school, and Naruto actually does know Sasuke because they kind of live close to each other, and Fugaku's wife actually makes them meet Naruto because like Kushina's kind of friends with, you know, Naruto's mother. So yeah, that's there. Naruto kind of sleeps over in Sasuke's house, so they're kind of acquaintances, and he actually likes Itachi and Sasuke as brother. And if you're asking, Naruto kind of doesn't like Bakugo, but he's actually kept pretty neutral, but he doesn't like what Bakugo does to Deku. Naruto does pass the UA entrance exam because of wind manipulation and the Nine-Tails beast mode. Naruto is still a goofball, but when Naruto sees Deku about to fall to his death, Naruto actually uses a gust of wind and saves. Naruto actually gives some of his points to Deku and Uraraka because, one, Deku's his friend, and he actually thinks Uraraka's pretty. Naruto's actually chilling like a villain with his squad with Uraraka, Deku, and Ida. These 4 get along nicely, and it's kind of a cool squad and a cool pair. Also, if you're wondering, yeah, Sasuke replaces Mineta and Naruto replaces Invisible Girl. Yeah, I had to remove some goats. Sasuke is actually still friends with, you know, Naruto. He's kind of friends with Deku, but he's a little bit indifferent. He's cool with Bakugo. He's kind of neutral with him. They have a mutual respect. He's actually friends with Kirishima. You're that right, yes, Sasuke is friends with Kirishima. And who would have ever thought that Sasuke would be friends with Kirishima? Sasuke actually likes Kirishima. Sasuke is pretty cool with Jiro. He actually does think she's a little bit cool, and she has a lot of promise. Jiro actually does faint when Sasuke actually compliments her on her quirk, saying it looks cool. Because in Jiro's eyes, the hottest guy and the brother of the number 4 hero just complimented her on her quirk. Sasuke is wondering how Deku got in because he actually thought Deku didn't have a quirk, and Sasuke may be just saying maybe he's the first quirkless hero to actually get into U.S.J. Zara does come in, and the physical still happens. Well, I like to call it a physical, even though I don't even think it's named that. Naruto does want to see how Deku's going to pass this or how he's going to break through this wall. When Naruto actually sees Deku completely throw that ball up in the air, Naruto's shocked because this guy has a strong quirk, like a superpower quirk. Naruto's just asking himself, did he hide this or did he just get it? And for the speed portion, Sasuke basically just breaks that thing. Sasuke is able to basically manipulate the lightning around him, actually enhance his speed with the lightning. Sasuke completely shocked because he thought this kid just got in because of smarts and because he was a smart fighter, but it looks like he does have like a super powered quirk, a strength quirk. And Sasuke just asked himself, where have I seen this quirk before? I've seen this before. Sasuke just peeps at the back of his mind and says, I'll think about it later. When Sasuke sees, Bakugo yelling at Deku, Sasuke actually just gets pissed and angry. He actually grabs Bakugo and says, what are you? Bakugo tells him to get off of him, then Sasuke just says, leave that kid alone. He did nothing to you. Aizawa breaks them up, and then Bakugo just looks at Sasuke and just says, oh, you're the number 4 hero's brother, aren't you? Sasuke just says, yeah, what about it? Then Bakugo just say, of course somebody's related to the number 4 hero gets in on recommendation. Sasuke would just scoff and walk away and just say, Bakugo, just know your place next time. No one actually fails because Aizawa isn't a complete douchebag. Sasuke actually bumps into Todoroki and they just stare down at each other. Yeah, it's the stare saying, I really hate you, bro. This stare happens for a good minute until everyone in the class actually just sees them just staring down at each other, and Sasuke scoffs again and just says, just get away from me. People in the class are debating who's better in the class, Sasuke or Todoroki, and Sasuke just chimes in and just says, I'm clearly the superior. Naruto actually says sup to Sasuke, and Sasuke actually just says sup to him and give him the nod of, yo bro, I see you. Enough with formal greetings. That means the battlefield portion of the test is actually about to. Naruto actually get into his hero costume. Yes, his hero costume is the Sage Mode costume because I don't really have any other costumes for him. So yeah, Sage Mode costume is Naruto's hero costume. For Sasuke, it is the heavy suit. So yeah, Sasuke will be rocking the heavy suit as his hero costume as well, and with a katana. Most of the battle portion we actually go as per normal, and versus Kachan versus Deku, yeah, that still goes out as per normal. Team Deku still. Sasuke and Naruto are completely impressed with Deku's skills and with Bakugo's skills, and Sasuke is actually the one to comment on the whole team battle instead of Momo. So yeah, Sasuke beat Momo to it, and Momo actually does like that in Sasuke. Sasuke and Momo will be up next, and Sasuke and Momo actually win with ease. Sasuke actually does comment and saying, Momo, you must have gotten because of recommendation, haven't you? Momo would actually smile and say yes, and then Sasuke would say, so me, you, and Todoroki gotten because of recommendation. That's pretty nice. Momo would actually comment on Sasuke and just say, I know that you hate Todoroki, Sasuke. Sasuke would just say, I don't hate him, just a rivalry. Just a simple one. I want to strive to be the best. He wants to strive to be the best. I'm the number 4 hero's brother. He's the number 2 hero's son. Momo, we're fated rivals. So I hope you understand that. Momo would just say, oh, I do understand that. And Sasuke would just say, hey, could you make me another katana? I kind of broke mine. Sasuke actually shakes Momo's hand and says, I hope we can be friends. Momo and Sasuke will both smile at each other, and everyone's just saying that these two got along very quickly. Ojiro and Naruto actually paired up, and they're actually getting along pretty nicely, and they actually face Team Todoroki. Naruto would just smile and say, I want to take on Todoroki. He seems like the best guy in this whole class. Well, besides Sasuke, because Naruto does understand that Sasuke is a little bit better than Todoroki. Todoroki just stares down Naruto, and Todoroki says, I can't believe scum like you actually made it. Then Naruto just says, that's cool, bro, but I didn't. Just kidding. Naruto actually shoots a bunch of wind bullets from his mouth. Then Naruto would just say, you looking off balance there, Todoroki. And Naruto would actually appear behind him, actually shove a wind blast in his back. Todoroki actually tries to freeze Naruto, but Naruto is actually able to evade it, but actually does get hit by one of the ice blasts, but Naruto is actually able to get his foot out. Naruto is taken aback by Todoroki's power, and Todoroki just looks at Naruto with anger, and Naruto just says, Todoroki, you're the son of Endeavor. You should be able to use flames. How come you're not using it? Todoroki's actually pretty angry from this comment and actually just tells Naruto, what would you know about friends? What would you know about family since you don't even have one? And also, you're cursed with a beast inside of you. Todoroki just says, why do you think most people avoid you? Why do you think most people don't like you? Naruto was actually pretty angry at this, and Todoroki kind of awakened a beast. Naruto uses the Nine Tails quirk and just says, you're gonna take that back. And Naruto's teeth would sharpen, and then he would actually charge at Todoroki. Todoroki's ice could not block the Nine Tails barrage, and Naruto was completely pummeling him. Everyone is just questioning what kind of monster Naruto has become, and then Deku, Ida, and Uraraka just say that he's not a monster. And then Sasuke chimes in and says, yeah, he's not a monster. And Sasuke just smiles and says, he's my rival. Todoroki's still trying to use his ice to at least block the attacks, which is kind of working, but Naruto's still kind of pummeling him. Todoroki's getting pretty angry and actually almost uses his fire side. Todoroki almost uses it, but he just sees the aura of flames of the Nine Tails Beast Mode quirk. almost said chakra, that would be bad. The flames of the Nine Tails would anger Todoroki, and Todoroki would actually use a huge block of ice to actually cover Naruto. But Naruto was still not done yet, but Naruto was a little bit injured. Naruto actually uses one fatal wind palm punch. Todoroki would actually get pushed back to the wall. He's not dead, guys, don't worry. He actually coughed up a little bit of blood, and Todoroki he's completely angry. He just knows that he's not the strongest in the class. Todoroki, knowing he's not at top of the class, Todoroki actually starts doing training, actually get angry and start doing even more training to surpass Naruto and Sasuke. Uraraka and Deku actually go to Naruto's bed because when he uses the Nine Tails quirk, because Naruto actually just goes unconscious. Uraraka and Deku just say, no matter what anyone says, Naruto, you're not a monster, you're a human, you're our butt. And all everyone's in the classroom. Aizawa introduces a new student because Zero's not here. The kid will be named Gaara, and he's the son of the sixth best hero. Gaara would actually say that he isn't here to make friends, he's just here to get stronger. And Gaara would have the same backstory. Well, if you don't know Gaara's backstory, just look up Gaara's backstory from Naruto. Gaara believes that he can love no one but himself because no one has showed him that love or affection yet. Deku, Ida, Uraraka, and Jiro try to befriend him, but Gaara just completely ignores them and just tells them to get away from him. Now, starting the U.S.J, Ari into the portion, everyone's excited to test out their quirks, and on the bus, Deku and Naruto actually sitting together. Naruto does want to know what is Deku's quirk, because he never had a quirk to begin with. He can't just magically get one. Deku completely just tells him it is a strength quirk and nothing else. Naruto is still suspicious, but he just ignores it. Naruto does see that Gaara and Todoroki are a little bit similar because they both seem cold to everyone else and just want to be distant. Naruto does feel like he can't relate to Todoroki, but he feels like he can relate to Gaara. While everyone's at the U.S.J facility, villains attack. Wow, what a surprise. This means the students will be split up, but this time I'm going to say Gaara, since he's replacing Zero, he's actually by himself, and Mina and that sugar guy are on their own. Having Sasuke, Momo, and Jiro be together is actually a pretty good group. That means Naruto is actually be stuck with Mineta, well, it's taking Mineta's spot. Also want to add an original villain from Naruto to attack Jiro's group, so that means Sasuke can verse that villain. Starting off with this group, since there's no Kaminari, since Kaminari is going to be taking Mineta's spot and so is Naruto, that means they actually have somebody strong enough to actually protect. Since Sasuke's lightning doesn't make him go completely stupid, it actually kind of hurts him a little bit, but he can go through the pain. These guys are easily able to take down these villains until Jiro gets hit in the face by something and she gets knocked down. Sasuke would actually scream out Jiro's name, and then Jiro would just say she's alright, and then somebody would come out from the shadows. The man would be, yes, Orochimaru. Orochimaru would then smile and say, Sasuke, I've come for you. Sasuke would get creeped out, and so would Momo, and yes, Orochimaru still wants that young Uchiha body. Sasuke and Momo try to double team Orochimaru, but Orochimaru is too fast and too quick, and he's stronger than them. Orochimaru knows he can beat these guys anytime he wants or slap them anytime in the week, so he actually just bites Sasuke's neck and just leaves. Momo says, what was that for? Was that poison? Orochimaru just says, one day you'll see. This is bad for Jiro and Momo. Sasuke down for the count, and Jiro's kind of injured. Momo and Jiro still try to completely defend themselves while Momo is trying to heal Sasuke or give him some bandages. Momo actually gets hit by a villain and actually starts getting curve stomped by the villain until Sasuke finally awakens. Sasuke gets up saying, Momo, who gave you these wounds? Tell me right now. Momo stays silent, and seeing the black traces on his neck, Momo would say, what'd that snake do to you? Sasuke would then say, who cares what the snake did to me? Who gave you these wounds, Momo? Was it that person over there? Sasuke would blitz towards him, then start breaking his arm. Sasuke would say, you seem to like to hurt people with your arms. What happens if I just break them? And he starts breaking them even more and cracking them. Sasuke keeps going and going until Momo starts screaming, telling him to stop. Momo would then run and hug it. Momo begs and begs until Sasuke's curse mark goes away. Sasuke would then faint to the ground, and Momo would say, thank goodness he's okay. Jiro, actually watching this go down, actually about to get blindsided by a villain until somebody saves her. Gaara's Sand would actually save her, and then Gaara would look at her and say, pay attention next time, you need to start focusing on yourself. Jiro would then tell him that her friend was in danger and she was worried. Of course she wasn't going to focus on herself. There's more to things than focusing on yourself. Gaara would then say, that's a weak mentality. Jiro would then say, whatever, but you could at least smile for once. Gaara would then say, I don't feel like smiling, and walk. Jiro would then say in her head, how can a guy that looks so good be so cold to people? Now for Naruto's group. Naruto's group would consist of Froppy, Deku, and Kaminari, but Kaminari already brain fried him, so it's up to Deku and Froppy to beat the villain. Oh yeah, don't forget about Naruto, he's strong. Things will play out a little bit differently because Naruto's here instead of Mineta, and Naruto's way better than Mineta. It's until Naruto completely sees the Nomu beating up on Aizawa. Naruto, seeing this, would actually get angry and actually use some of the Nine Tails power. Naruto would actually power up to the one-tailed cloak and start trying to fight the Nomu. Naruto can barely even touch it or barely even hit it. Well, he does do a little bit of damage, but it just rejects. Naruto gets pissed at Shigaraki because he's trying to kill Froppy. Naruto actually goes into the fortress, actually slaps Shigaraki, which actually makes him cough up. Naruto is about to go on even more of a rampage until somebody stops him. A hug, or a grab. It is Deku who's grabbing the tail. Naruto's questioning what he just went into, but Naruto completely burns inside. Everything burns. Naruto falls on his knees and says, Deku, I'm out of this. The Nomu's actually about to finish Naruto until All Might. The fight is actually going as per normal, and Itachi actually appears, one of the heroes, the fourth best hero. Itachi actually slaps one of the villains, and then Shigaraki just knows it's time to retreat because All Might just defeated that Nomu. Itachi mainly just came here to check on his brother and Sasuke and see if all the UA students are all... Itachi actually sees Sasuke in the care of Momo because Sasuke is completely fainted and knocked out. Itachi would then smile and say, Sasuke's all grown up now. Itachi then grabs Sasuke from Momo and just tells Momo that he'll take it from here, don't worry. And then he tells Sasuke that we're going home. Itachi would then see Naruto and say, how's it been? And saying that he's done a good job, that as of far, his father would be proud. Itachi would then leave and just say, have a great day. Back in Class 1A, Class 1B still bombards Class 1A, but this time, Gaara and Bakugo call them extras and tell them to move out the way. Todoroki actually announces rivalry to Gaara, Naruto, Sasuke, Bakugo, and Deku. Yeah, that's a lot of rivals, Todoroki. Since these guys are worthy opponents, these guys are worth Todoroki's time. Before Todoroki can even make, a bunch of ice to trip everyone up, Gaara actually makes sand to trip everyone up, actually blocking the entrance, saying, sorry guys, I'm the one. Sasuke and Naruto actually get out easily, and Todoroki's actually kind of pissed. Naruto just wants to know, why is this guy so pissed? This is just a race for fun. And Naruto just does notice that Gaara's a little bit more angrier too, because he wants to win this and show how strong he is. Naruto, Bakugo, Sasuke, Gaara, Todoroki are rushing to the finish line, and then Deku completely passes all of them. Sasuke is a little bit angry, but he's a little bit surprised that Deku completely passed him while he's trying to enhance his speed with lightning. And out of everyone, he was just thinking that either Tokuyami could have possibly passed them. Well, Sasuke goes in second, Naruto goes in third, Bakugo goes in fourth, Todoroki goes in fifth, and Gaara goes in sixth. Gaara is angry at this completely, and so is Todoroki. Bakugo's extremely pissed. Naruto and Sasuke don't really mind it or don't really care, and Deku's completely happy. Naruto sees Ida ditch his friend for Team Todoroki, and Naruto just sees that as the worst move or a weak move. Naruto actually joins Team Todoroki, and so does Sasuke. Sasuke walks past Momo and says, I'm actually going to join any team that you are on because we worked well together, but since you're on Team Todoroki, I guess you're now my enemy. Sorry, no hard feelings, Momo. We're still... Momo starts laughing and says, I can't wait to completely destroy you, while Sasuke just says, that's funny coming from somebody who was 17th place in the race. And let's just say Gaara just decides to join, Bakugo's team. He replaces Mina, and Naruto is able to actually help Team Deku so they don't completely get jumped. Since Sasuke is faster than Ida, he can be the horse. He can actually outspeed Ida and actually grab Todoroki's, headband. Naruto's wind manipulation, no one's getting near them, and with Sasuke's lightning manipulation. Now I think it's time I get to the fights of the tournament. But first, Todoroki wants to talk to everyone who he completely challenged. Todoroki does say that he almost uses fire side in the cavalry or the bounty. Todoroki just questions, where's Deku's strength coming from? And he kind of questions where Naruto's strength is coming from, but he's mainly focusing on Deku. He knows Sasuke is the brother of the fourth best hero, and he knows Gaara is the son of the sixth best hero. All of them ask the question, is All Might his father? But Bakugo turns it down and starts Naruto saying that no, All Might is not Deku's father. Todoroki says whatever, but he's still gonna win this. Sasuke actually goes up against Momo, but he feels a weird pain in his chest. When he tries to move and strike against Momo, he actually gets hit in the... No, Sasuke knows Momo is not at his level. There's no way. But Sasuke does figure out it's the curse mark thing. It's spraying around his body, actually strained. Sasuke's original plan was to kind of play with Momo so she can get scouted by other heroes, but he knows if he continues this, his body's gonna wear out. So Sasuke easily beats Momo and actually moves. Naruto knows that fighting against Ida is gonna be pretty hard because Ida's fast and he's agile. But Naruto, with a little bit of strategy, actually beats. Sasuke would completely verse Gaara, but Sasuke knows that this straining is not going to go away and that Gaara is a worthy opponent. Sasuke and Gaara would clash a little bit, but Gaara would have the upper hand. Gaara would use his hand to defend him and actually hit Sasuke in the back. Sasuke could barely even get up, and Sasuke would try to use his lightning and actually blitz, but it doesn't matter. Gaara has the ultimate defense, and this means it ain't gonna go through. Sasuke starts enhancing his speed with his lightning, actually starts blitzing around Gaara, and actually gets a good hit into his face. That actual hit actually makes Sasuke go on his knees and just say, what is wrong with me? What did that weird snake person do to me? Sasuke then raises his hand up and says he gives up. Sasuke withdraws from the fight. Sasuke just says even if he was at full power, he doesn't even think he could beat Gaara. This surprises everyone, mostly Naruto. He just gave up without fighting? What's wrong? Naruto's asking himself, is this Gaara guy really a threat? Man, I'm actually kind of scared. Itachi did notice Sasuke's sloppiness, and then Sasuke would actually tell Itachi, you knew? Itachi would say, I always know. Now come with. Itachi would then tell Sasuke, that girl Momo you have there is a keeper. You guys dating? Sasuke would say, no, we're not dating. Itachi would say, you would invite her over to dinner. She would be great to meet our parents. Sasuke would just say, no, not doing it. and don't accept this again. Naruto and Todoroki actually go completely at it, but Naruto knows it's his lucky day because Todoroki doesn't want to use his flames. Naruto knows Todoroki's still hesitant to use his flame side, so Naruto takes clear advantage of this, because if Naruto just uses wind against Todoroki's flames, Naruto would have just lost. Todoroki used a block of ice to actually trip up Naruto, but Naruto is easily able to evade them and actually go up in the air and shoot out some wind bullets. Naruto actually sees Todoroki tripping up, but then Naruto would just say, Todoroki, I'm glad you're less cold. Deku really changed you for the better, but I'm sorry, I'm ending this battle right now. Todoroki still tries to make a blockade of ice, but Naruto is easily able to dodge it and actually goes up behind him and actually kicks Todoroki in the back. While Todoroki punches Naruto in the face, Naruto is easily able to get back up. Naruto tells Shoto to look, then Shoto looks and he's binded by some strings. Naruto says that they're not strings, they're actually wind, but they look like string. Naruto does feel bad because he didn't beat Todoroki at his fullest, but Naruto is happy nonetheless going to the finals. Naruto completely just uses a wind blaze bomb and actually pushes Todoroki. Bakugo and Gaara actually face off against each other, and Bakugo knows that he stands no chance because Sasuke couldn't stand a chance, and Sasuke said at his fullest he would have still lost. He doesn't think he could beat Gaara, so he starts going up in the air and starts shooting. Gaara does trap Bakugo with his sand, and Gaara says it's over and starts trying to use the sand coffin. Bakugo is able to slip out. This whole fight is for Bakugo to find an opening so we can actually hit Gaara with it. Sometimes he finds openings, sometimes he just gets caught in the sand and gets completely in. Bakugo then aims his hand and says, this should blast you back, and then shoots out a big explosion that actually makes Todoroki's ice go to shame. Gaara actually covers himself with the sand. Gaara would actually peer through and actually see on his head that he's bleeding. Gaara would start screaming that he's bleeding, and then Gaara just says that he's done playing with Bakugo, and actually uses a sand arm and grabs Bakugo and starts squishing. Gaara slams Bakugo to the ground and then kicks him out the ring. Well, sand punches him out the Gaara, knowing he doesn't want anyone to drop any single blood on him ever again. He actually goes into half Shukaku form. Naruto seeing this and just say, Gaara, you really like me. Your pain, everyone looks at you like a monster. I know that pain, where everyone just looks at you and they just want you to die. Gaara, my friends give me my strength, my power, my energy. They're the reason I keep on living. Gaara just says, I only love myself. I don't need to love anyone else. Gaara used a huge sand tsunami covering Naruto and all of the surroundings. While Naruto was covered in the sand, the Nine-Tails was actually talking to him saying, you need my power to destroy this kid. Naruto says, no, I don't want to destroy this kid. I want to show him the light. Give me your power, but just don't control me. Nine-Tails just say, fine, I won't control you, kid. Take some of my power. Naruto jumps out the sand and just says, Gaara, I'm going to defeat you, and actually charges him and kick Gaara in the face. Gaara is shooting out a bunch of sand bullets, a bunch of sand swords, and shooting them at Naruto, but Naruto is easily able to dodge and actually take. Naruto takes one to the leg and actually still keeps running and charges at Gaara and actually tackles. Somebody in the stand says it's battle against monsters, but all Class 1A just says they are monsters, they're our friends, our classmates. And here, Naruto kicks it up a notch, actually using the one-tails. Gaara actually charging him, and so would Naruto. Naruto then uses Wind Palm, and so Gaara would actually use his same clash extreme and chaotic, but Gaara is the one to fall off the ring. Naruto is injured on the ring as of now. Naruto is declared the winner, but before they can even take them to the, infirmary, Naruto just says the same speech to Gaara and just says that he needs friends to keep on moving forward. Naruto just says you need somebody once in a while to at least help you with something. Naruto basically went to the U.S.J attack, and he actually won the whole UA Sports Festival. He beat Gaara in the finals and actually changed him for the better. All Might would give out the medals, and Naruto would get the first place medal as usual. Well, of course he would. He actually won. Naruto also said he knows that Izuku Midoriya and All Might have a thing for each other, and he knows that All Might sees something in him. All Might would then say he treats him like a normal student, and Naruto would say, whatever, I'm not going to pry on it, but thank you, I'm glad that I won. All Might can now see the change in Gaara's eyes. All Might will then say he knows that Gaara has something deep inside him he wants to say, but he knows he wants to keep it private, so he won't say anything. All Might will then hug Gaara, then Gaara would say, can I be a hero just like you? Sharing third place would actually be Todoroki and Bakugo. Bakugo is actually distraught and he's frustrating himself. He's lost after time and time again, and he's kind of pissed. Todoroki doesn't feel bad, but he just feels like he's kind of getting behind as well. Bakugo doesn't really flip out like in the anime, but he's still angry with himself how he's behind, Naruto and Sasuke and Gaara, and even Deku. Todoroki's not really mad at himself, but he's just happy that he can finally use his flame side without thinking that it's his father's quirk. All Might will then congratulate the fighters and actually tell them to keep on going on to be heroes. Back in class, everyone picks their hero names, and Naruto's hero name is going to be Yellow Beast, while Sasuke's hero name is just going to be Sasuke. I'm going to have Gaara's name to be Sandman because it kind of sounds cool, and Sandman was a cool villain in Spider-Man, so we're going to roll with it. Let's get into the internship. Sasuke actually comes second because Itachi has a little bit more pull, but, Todoroki still comes first because Endeavor still has more pull than Itachi since he's only the fourth best hero. He's freaking out because he just thinks no pro hero wants because the beast mode inside of him or the Nine-Tails inside of him, because if that goes out rampant, no pro hero wants to deal with that. While Naruto's freaking out, he actually gets a text from Kakashi. Yes, Kakashi does still visit Naruto, but not as often. Kakashi actually does tell Naruto about Minato's old sensei that he could train with. Kakashi would then give him the location, and Naruto would then say thanks, will text him thanks, and write it down on the paper. Going to Sasuke's portion, Sasuke actually has a flashback with Itachi, and Itachi does say, do not come to my agency yet. You must learn something from my friend. Well, control that curse mark. My friend knows something. He can actually seal it away for a little bit so it doesn't be a bother. Sasuke then says, who do you mean? Is it Shishui? Itachi says, no, it's not Shishui because he's completely occupied. He's not taking any internships right now. Itachi then says Sasuke will be internshipping with Kakashi, and he actually does say that Kakashi wants to see Tokoyami as well, so bring Tokoyami with you, and you guys will be training with him. I'm doing this because I want Tokoyami to actually have relevance in this story, because I kind of did him dirty because he wasn't even in the whole tournament thing, so I might as well repay him with this. Itachi just said one of his friends called Mike Guy will actually be taking Shinso, the guy who fought Midoriya. He actually will take him and actually teach him some physical combat skills so he can become stronger. Sasuke then nod and say, I won't let you down, brother. Then Itachi will then say, when you actually get your full internship, you're actually going to come with me. Before everyone can go in their internship, everyone's actually concerned for Ida, mostly Naruto, Uraraka, and Deku. Sasuke is kind of concerned, but right now he doesn't mind it. Naruto tells Ida that he's here for him and that everyone's here for him if they need to talk to him. Ida just changes the subject and he just says good luck on his internship. Naruto says good luck and they actually leave. Right now we'll actually cover Sasuke's portion of the internship. Sasuke and then Tokoyami would actually enter the doorway and Sasuke says it's over here. And Sasuke just knows it's pitch black. Sasuke knows that Dark Shadow cannot go in the pitch black because he's going to lose control. Voice could be heard from the distance and he would say, let the battle, or should I say the test, begin. The man would zip across the room and actually hit both Sasuke and Tokoyami. Tokoyami can't use Dark Shadow because if he uses it, he's going to lose control. So it's up to Sasuke. Sasuke would use his gleaming red eyes and actually look around. But he could see the energy of this guy. He actually see him zipping around so lightning fast. Before Sasuke even hit him, Sasuke actually get a sharp pain in his back. It actually feels like lightning. The guy would actually jump around and actually just say, Sasuke Uchiha, you should be better than this. Your brother would have competed with me way better. The man would then say, Tokoyami, you're weak to the darkness. And Sasuke, that curse mark is holding you back. Tokoyami would then decide it's time to use Dark Shadow, but once he uses it, he loses control. And then the man would actually just say, let me deal with this, and use a big gust of lightning, and the light would actually make the whole room light up. Kakashi would then say, it looks like I'm a bad matchup for you, Tokoyami. Light is Dark Shadow's weakness, isn't it? Tokoyami would then sigh and say yes. He then look at Sasuke and say, hello Sasuke, glad to meet you guys. Welcome to the Kakashi Hatake Agency. Kakashi would then open a book and he actually seal the curse mark inside of Sasuke's body. Sasuke would actually knock out and Tokoyami would say, what happened? Kakashi just says, I made sure that it won't be a hindrance for later, so it won't restrain him anymore. Kakashi then would say, let's get to training guys. I have a lot to teach you, mostly you Tokoyami. And when Sasuke wakes up, well, he'll just train after. You'll just spar with me, Tokoyami. Try to get these bells from me. Naruto would then enter his internship, and he actually see girl magazines on the floor, and Naruto would just say this guy is probably a creep or a slob. Naruto would actually start looking around and actually see no one, and Naruto would actually just think, I went to the wrong hero agency. Before Naruto could even walk out the door, a man would actually blitz towards him, actually shove him with a gust of wind. Naruto even get up, the man would actually say, Naruto, the son of Minato, the third best hero. Well, not anymore. Then he would actually pick up Naruto and say, my name is Jiraiya, I used to teach your father, and now I'm going to teach you what I taught him. Jiraiya would actually tell him his quirk is called Sage. He can do anything that a toad can do, and he actually has a cool transformation. And he can actually use wind and elements. Naruto completely thinks that's cool and says, what do you have to teach me? Jiraiya would then first tell Naruto to actually learn his own wind manipulation and that he can actually use it and actually create stuff. Jiraiya would actually then say that you have to learn to conquer the nine-tailed fox, actually try to harness some of its power. Jiraiya would say, enough talking for now, let's start meditating. Naruto would say, meditating? How is this going to help me? Jiraiya would then say, it's going to help you with your Sage energy. Look, understand, Naruto looks like he has Sage mode, but that's just a PNG, and I said that looks cool, so it's going to be his hero costume. I will change his eyes eventually, but just don't... All of Naruto's training would consist of meditating, and it kind of means the nine-tailed fox is actually trying to get accustomed of using its powers. But as we know, Naruto is only human, he still has nightmares of the nine-tailed fox. Jiraiya would then smile and say, Naruto, get your costume, we're going to get going in a few minutes. Naruto would ask, where are we going? He would actually say Hosu City. Naruto would then look up and actually say, Ida's in Hosu, maybe I can text him while I would drive by there. Jiraiya would then say, we're going to go meet up with Kakashi near in Hosu. So basically you're going to meet his internships as well. I'm pretty sure you know them, they're probably in your class. Surprisingly, Deku and Naruto are actually on the same train. They actually do talk to each other, actually do text Ida at the same time. This is all fine and dandy until villains attack. Jiraiya and Gran Torino would actually tell Deku and Naruto to stay in the bus or stay on the train if you want to say that. Naruto and Deku, being rebellious, would actually just not stay on the train and actually completely go out and try to look for Ida. Once they find Ida, he's on the floor about to die. Ain't looking good for Ida in this one, if I'm being honest. Naruto and both Deku would actually both jump in and actually save Ida, and Deku would actually say meddling in somebody's affairs is the true essence of a hero, and Naruto would say the same. Stain would actually smile and just say, "You guys are true heroes, I'll leave you alive for now, but your friend, he's gotta die." Deku would use 5% one for all, and Naruto would actually use wind manipulation until Deku gets stabbed and Stain licks his blood, and then Naruto is now by himself. Naruto would then smile and actually use his new move called the Rasen Shuriken and actually shove it in Stain. Stain would actually get pretty injured by this, but he'd actually get back up. Also, I'm not using the whatever molecular level kind of BS for the Rasen Shuriken. That's too broken. I'm not doing it. Stain would actually throw a couple blades at Naruto. Naruto usually would dodge until one of them actually pierces his back. It was looking bad for Naruto until Todoroki jumps in. Todoroki would actually stomp Stain to the ground with his flames. Todoroki knows he can't hold him off forever and he needs support. Naruto would get back up and actually take the blade out of his back, and it actually heals for some reason. Apparently the Nine Tails is doing its work. But let's get out this whole Deku and Stain situation. We're gonna go to Kakashi, Tokoyami, and Sasuke. Sasuke and Tokoyami's bus would actually get attacked, and now Kakashi actually tells him to stay back while he fights off the villains. Kakashi, knowing that these guys are Nomus, he actually would not show them any mercy, actually take off his mask. Kakashi actually snipes one of them with a Kwamui actually to the head. The Kwamui was actually passed down by his fallen friend Obito. Kakashi would then pull his mask back up and actually then say, "Time to use this copy quirk that Obito gave me, or pass it down to me." He'd actually start copying all the quirks around him and actually defeat the Nomu. That's why people give him the nickname the Copy Hero. Stain is completely having a hard time because he's fighting Tokoyami, Sasuke, Todoroki, Deku, Naruto, and Iida's about to get up. So this is looking pretty bad. Stain wants to at least kill Iida and then leave, but Sasuke and Tokoyami's not allowing that to happen, so they're keeping him on the back burner, while Todoroki's actually just providing support with his long-range attacks. Sasuke, being a tactician, would come up with a plan. He would actually tell Naruto to use the same energy that he used against Gaara and actually use it against Stain, while Todoroki freezes Stain's arms, and Iida and Deku hits him with a full smash. And if this knocks him out, Dark Shadow can restrain him. All three of them nod, well all of them nod, and actually just charge up at Stain and actually hit him with everything they got. Todoroki actually freezes his hand, and Deku and Iida hit him with the smash, while Naruto charges up the Nine Tails chakra, or energy if you want to say it, and actually completely negs him. Sasuke then thinks to himself, "This plan did better than I expected. I did not know it would do this good." Walking out the alley, let's just say it, their mentors are pissed. Jiraiya's kind of pissed, and while Kakashi's extremely pissed. Jiraiya would then run up to Naruto and actually slap him in the face and tell him that was too reckless, how come you didn't obey my orders. Sasuke actually protests and say, "If we didn't beat the hero killer Stain, you guys wouldn't beat him. And also, if we didn't come here, Iida would be dead, and so would the other hero." Kakashi would then sigh and say, "We'll just get you guys to the hospital since you have cuts and bruises." Stain would do his old bloodlust thing, and actually the Nine Tails actually falls on his back when he sees the bloodlust of Stain. At the hospital, Itachi actually beats everyone, and he actually goes up to Sasuke and Naruto, he pinches their ears and says, "That was too reckless, you shouldn't have done that." Itachi would then pull them in for a hug and actually just say, "It's tough love, I just don't want you guys to die, but you guys are going to be great pro heroes." The police commissioner would still do his thing as usual. Sasuke would actually rant on him this time, but nothing's going to change here. After the weeks go by, well, the 1 week that goes by, everyone goes back to school. In class, everyone just sees how Shinso's developed. His muscle mass, he has completely weighted armor in his costume now. Everyone just thinks this guy's built different. He trained with Mike Guy in his internship, and he's actually wearing the Rock Lee stuff. Like, he's actually repping all Rock Lee. Shinso's just icy as a bitch. Enough of all the jokes. Shinsho's just completely rocking all the Rock Lee stuff, and he's completely gotten stronger. We need to get in the final exam portion of this, and this is actually going to be great. In the written exam, Naruto kind of does good. He places 9th place, while Sasuke actually places 3rd, and while Gaara places 5th. Naruto needs a study buddy, so he actually studies with Deku, while Sasuke actually studies with Tokoyami. Gaara actually studies by himself, but then later Jiro actually studies with Gaara to actually learn a few things. Naruto actually cheers me up for placing 19 out of 20 in the class, but he actually cheers up and says you need to keep on going plus ultra and keep on going and become stronger. Naruto will walk away actually giving me the thumbs up, and me will actually give him the thumbs up back. Since Naruto's actually teaming up with Shoji since he's replacing Invisible Girl, he actually versus Snipe. They actually come up with a plan with Naruto actually blitzing Snipe and actually completely negging him. Naruto would use air bullets to actually neg the other bullets that Snipe is shooting at them, and actually would tell Shoji actually use his arm to actually wrap around Snipe. Since Naruto was occupying him, Shoji actually completely wraps around the arms around Snipe and actually uses the handcuffs to actually cuffs him. Sasuke and Gaara actually replace Mineta and Sero because it's pretty obvious I said that in the beginnings. So basically, Sasuke would actually tell Gaara to make a quicksand and actually completely take Midnight out. While he makes the gate, Sasuke actually runs to the gate and actually passes. You see Shigaraki actually having a meeting with somebody with a black cloak and red clouds. The man would say, "The Akatsuki would like to require your assistance of the League of Villains." Shigaraki would then say, "What's in it for us?" The man would just say, "Well, you get more people, more stronger criminals. It could take down the Hero Society much quicker and gain peace. With the Akatsuki and the League of Villains working together, nothing can stop us, not even All Might. Join us, Shigaraki." No, actually, let us team up and destroy this Hero Society and build a new one. That is where I end off this video. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. I really did myself. Remember guys, you always want to see more of this, 60 likes. It's been the RedCloak. I'ma head up out of here, and I'm out of exams. I did hit you guys with a cliffhanger last video, but this means we're in season 3 and that cliffhanger will have more light on it, so don't worry. Like the original, Mr. Aizawa still tells about the hero training camp thing, and basically they all go on the bus and they all arrive there. The bus stops. Naruto actually says why the bus stopped. Aizawa then says that you have 3 to 4 hours to actually make it through the forest, and if you don't make it through the forest, you don't get lunch. Naruto, hearing this, would speed through the forest with Class 1A. Naruto and Class 1A would actually go in the forest, and Naruto would actually start destroying robots. Well, the animals, but they're just shown to be robots. Naruto would use his Rasengan and actually break one of the robots, while Sasuke uses lightning and actually break it apart. Gaara uses sand and crush one robot. Naruto actually finds Mina about to get crushed by a robot, well, actually about to get swatted away by the robot, but Naruto actually saves her and actually grabs her by the arm and just says, "Are you okay?" Mina, being the energetic person she is, he actually yell yes, and then Naruto then say, "Let's continue going." Good 2 to 3 hours, they actually make out the forest, and Naruto actually sits down on the ground tired and actually just says he just can't keep going like this. Enough of that out of the way. Now let's get into actual training arc, which I'll only be focusing on Gaara, Sasuke, and Naruto because they're the newest people of this What If. Sasuke's training is going to be a little bit like Kaminari, but this time it's actually going to be more intense. Sasuke will have to keep his Sharingan on or his red eyes, and he had to use his curse mark stage 1. And this is very straining. Sasuke having to use this for a whole day would actually tire him out or actually make him faint. So I was always trying to push him past his limits so he can actually get stronger. So what Sasuke is focusing on is to actually master 1, the curse mark, and 2, actually keep it on without straining himself and actually collapsing like he did against Gaara. For Gaara, he must take a lot of lightning bolts from Kaminari and Sasuke, and he actually must get shot by water so he can actually improve his sand's durability. Yeah, so from time to time, Aizawa would actually pull out a hose and actually shoot Gaara's sand, so that means Gaara would have to learn his durability or actually strengthen the durability of his sand. For Naruto, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. Naruto actually has to use Rasengans and Rasen Shurikens to actually break rocks, and for the other hours that he needs to do, he needs to talk to the Nine Tails. So this is pretty traumatized for Naruto, because Aizawa does think if he can have the Nine Tails under his control, then he's basically going to be a great hero and stop villains anywhere. Mandalay and the other wild pussycats actually still set up the games. This actually means Naruto, since he's replaced Invisible Girl, he's teamed up with Jiro. While Jiro and Naruto actually walk in the forest, Naruto actually does get a scare, and so does Jiro, and Jiro just calls him a baby, then Naruto just says, "You were screaming too." If you guys are asking why am I using this Naruto PNG, because this is a grown man Naruto, well, this is only Naruto has casual clothes, and this is the last Naruto, so yeah, get used to it, I'm sorry. While Jiro and Naruto are walking, Jiro actually asks Naruto, does Gaara like her? Naruto's about to answer the question until pink gas comes near them, and Naruto just tells Jiro not to inhale the gas until both of them get knocked out. When Naruto is knocked out, a voice would appear in his head telling him to get up. Naruto would hear this and he would actually get up. Naruto would get up and you see Yarurozu, but when he wakes up, he actually accidentally calls her, the thing on the screen, you guys can see it. When Naruto finds out who this is, he actually apologizes, he actually says, "I'm sorry, I did not know, I was just dreaming or something, and then somebody woke me up." Momo actually not being like Sakura, she would actually say, "It's all good, just I'm glad you're okay." To the camp, since Sasuke and Gaara are actually replacing Mineta and Sero, Sasuke for one is actually still near Mandalay, and Gaara is actually not in Sero's place in the whole classroom thing. So Gaara is actually near Mandalay as well, and when they hear that villains are attacking, Gaara and Sasuke nod at each other and they actually both run into the forest. Mandalay will try to stop them, but she can't really because Spinner and Big Sis Magna is actually attacking her. Gaara and Sasuke actually split up because they know that it can cover more ground, they can find more Class 1B and Class 1A students. Sasuke would then meet up with Todoroki and Bako. Todoroki would then say, "Why'd you come to the forest? It's too dangerous here." Sasuke would then scoff and just say, "You think I can't handle little villains?" Moonfish still attacks them, but Sasuke actually makes a lightning explosive way that actually pushes Moonfish back. Gaara is part of the story. Gaara actually meets up with Momo and Naruto. Naruto would actually say, "Gaara, you're here." Gaara would then see Jiro on the floor and actually then say, "What happened to her?" Naruto would then say gas and basically pawn this mask so you don't get hurt or basically knocked out. Gaara would put it on and then say, "What's the plan?" Naruto would say, "I don't know, but where's Deku?" Gaara would then tell Naruto that he went to go look for Koda. Then Naruto would then say, "Alright, I hope Koda's safe." They actually hear from Mandalay that they can use their powers to defend themselves. Then Gaara would actually hear one more thing that's actually shocking to the bone, that they're after one more UA student, which will not be named until it's actually said and done. Naruto would get up and start running, actually trying to look for Deku. Then Naruto would actually then say, "Gaara, go stay here and look for Momo." Gaara then comply and just say yes and just say good luck. Great! Naruto found Shoji and Deku, but this is actually bad. Dark Shadow's out of control, so Naruto starts running with them, because they don't know that Dark Shadow is weak to light. Only Sasuke does. When they meet Sasuke, Sasuke just screams out light, so it's weakness. So basically Todoroki uses his flames, Baku uses explosion, Naruto uses Rasengan, and both Sasuke would actually use his lightning, and they actually weaken Dark Shadow, revert back to its base form, and actually helping Tokoyami. Tokoyami actually shows his frustration, actually let Dark Shadow actually hurt everyone here, but Sasuke put a hand on his shoulder and just say, "We would have done the same for you, Tokoyami. No need to worry, get up. We need to stop this thing." Well, I established in the last part, they're basically best friends, Sasuke and Tokoyami, so this is actually good. Group is actually running, but 3 of them are missing. Tokoyami and Bako, yeah, they're missing, but the person who's missing is Sasuke. Mr. Compress explains why he captured Sasuke. One, Orochimaru wants him and wants his body, so basically he wants that Uchiha clout still. Second option is basically he'd make a perfect fit for the League of Villains. The curse mark is going to corrupt him and he's going to want more power. And the League of Villains has that power. And basically another organization wants him. So basically Sasuke's pretty much famous. So he'll be taking him. Both Naruto and Deku would be enraged and both of them would actually chase after Mr. Compress. Uraraka and Froppy still sling them up and basically they would tackle Mr. Compress. But the marbles that they got were fake. Aoyama still comes in the clutch and actually Shoji actually grabs one of the marbles. Todoroki fails to grab one of them, and Naruto tries to grab one, but a snake arm basically grabs it and basically just says, "Sad little Naruto." Person is none other than Orochimaru, and he would actually grab Sasuke while Dabi grabs Bakugo. Naruto and Deku actually scream out their names while Deku actually screams out Bakugo's name loud. Naruto continues screaming until Sasuke just says, "Naruto, don't come, it's too dangerous," while he gets sucked through the portal. Naruto can't believe it. His first friend, the first friend he ever made, the person he knew since birth, is gone. Because he was too weak, because he was not fast enough to save him, and wasn't quick enough. Naruto would then sit on the ground on his knees, and then look at the air, and then scream. Naruto would then collapse, and then the scream that we heard around the world, Naruto would then completely be unconscious. And now, Todoroki and Shoji would have to carry them back to camp. Naruto would wake up in his bedroom, well, basically his hospital room, and actually see a bunch of UA students, well, Class 1A students. He'd actually see Todoroki, everyone else. Naruto would be glad to see them, and then you just notice that Sasuke disappearing, or Sasuke basically being kidnapped, wasn't a dream. Naruto putting his head down would actually start crying and sobbing until Kirishima puts his hand on his shoulder and say, "We can still save them. I have," or actually Momo has, a tracking device. Naruto hearing this actually be excited and say, "We can still save them. Yes, thank you, Kirishima. I have to thank Momo after this too." Ida would actually say, "No, it's a bad idea," but then Naruto would just look at him and just tell him to shut up. Naruto would then throw Ida some facts and say, "Would Sasuke sit on his ass basically while we get kidnapped?" No, he wouldn't. He'd actually come for us because we're his dear classmates. We're his friends. We're not going to stop until we get him, right, Ida? Ida would get angry at this and actually walk out the room. Naruto would then say, "Kirishima, tell me what time you guys are going to be doing it and I'll be ready." Then Naruto would then look at Mina and just say, "Mina, you're okay, right?" Mina would then say yes, she didn't get hurt because she wasn't even outside. Mina would then say, "I wish I could help you, I'm sorry, Naruto." Naruto would then put her hand on her head and just say, "You did everything you could. That's all for now. Leave the rest of the pros and us." Pro hero team would assemble the team that's going to save Bakugo and Sasuke. Itachi's obviously going to be there because his brother just got kidnapped by the League of Villains. And basically, Kakashi's going to save him because that's his student. Jiraiya's along with this mission because Orochimaru is involved and he wants to get rid of Orochimaru because basically he was his /friend /enemy/rival. Students would then arrive, but for the disguises, I don't know about Naruto's disguise, so who cares? You guys can think about it. It's your own headcanon. You guys can do whatever you want. The Class 1A students that go to save Bakugo and Sasuke actually look through the window of the League of Villains hideout and they just see something horrifying. They see test tubes, a lot of them, and they see a blank sheet of paper. They don't know what it says because of the binoculars that they're looking out of. While the students are looking, half of the building's destroyed, and a man in the suit would actually pop out of nowhere, which is All For One. This is All Might arch nemesis, so he actually has to fight him as normal. The copycat hero, Kakashi, actually sees Bakugo and Sasuke basically facing off against villains. Kakashi tries to run in there, but a scythe actually beat him to the face. The scythe has actually hit him, but he actually does dodge. Two men walk up at the shower. Kakashi would look up at their cloaks up and down. Kakashi would then say, "The Akatsuki. You guys used to eliminate other crimes for funds, but now you team up with the League of Villains. That means you're our enemies." Kakashi would then say, "Kakuzu and Hidan. Didn't know you guys were actually in the Akatsuki." Kakuzu would then say, "Yes, we're allies. Doesn't mean that we agree with the League of Villains are doing." They're completely reckless. They have no set of motion what they're going to do. Kakashi would then fight the two, and then he actually noticed that Hidan being stabbed in the leg, he actually still walking. It actually does hurt, but he's still walking. Kakashi would then say, somebody would be crippled by that. How is he still walking? Hidan would then say, "We're not like your average humans. We're actually immortal, Kakashi." Kakashi would then stutter and just say, "No way. That's impossible." Kakashi was going to get back and actually try to use the Kwame, actually Kwame Hidan's head off. Kakashi was able to react in time and actually kick Hidan out the way, and then you just tell Hidan to actually pay attention next time. Your head would be completely off if he actually did that. Kakashi would then look up and just say, "There's too many heroes here. Hidan, let's bail. We can't get caught here." Hidan would just sigh and just say, yeah, I'm coming, and they both would leave. Kakashi would try to run after them until Endeavor just says, "Don't chase after them. The real threat is this guy right over here." Sasuke shakes off the other League of Villains members, but he actually gets stopped by a bone. A bone? Sasuke just says, "Who could do this?" Then somebody would appear out of the shadows, and they would actually start hitting him with a bone sword. It would be Kimimaro, and then he would just say, "Sasuke, come with me so Orochimaru's dreams can be achieved." Sasuke would then scoff and say, "Hell no, I'm not doing that." He would turn to his curse mark form and actually start fighting him. Sasuke is actually losing, like very badly. Mr. Compress about captured Sasuke until, yep, Itachi steps in. Itachi would then say, Sasuke, run as far away from here, but the League of Villains actually stop him again. He's actually to fight with Bakugo. Itachi actually dismantled Kimaru. Kimaru doesn't really have a chance because he's still sick. When Itachi sees the students actually saving Bakugo and Sasuke, Itachi would just say, those kids, they never learn. But I'm glad they saved my brother and Bakugo. Well, might as well deal with you now. Kimaru would go on his knees and basically cough off some blood and just say, I think I'm done here. Itachi would say, where can I find Orochimaru and where can I find the other people who work with him? Kimaru would just say, go to hell, and he actually warp away. Itachi would just say, warp? He cannot have another quirk called warp. He has a bone quirk, only one quirk. He cannot have two, that's impossible. I also want you guys to guess who warped Kimaru away. You guys can guess, I don't mind. Itachi would then see the end clash of All For One versus All Might, and then he would just know All Might won, but at what cost? Then Itachi would just say, wait, that means since All Might is basically going to retire, doesn't that mean that I'm going to become the third best hero, or actually second best, probably? Naruto opened up the door in his apartment, and he actually sees Jiraiya sitting down. Jiraiya would just say, Naruto, I saw you come in and actually try to save Sasuke and Bakugo. I'm glad that you did save them, but what if the pros weren't there? You guys would have died. The villains probably would have captured you. You guys should never do something like that reckless again. You can't just use your quirk willy-nilly. Naruto then looked down until Jiraiya would say, it was what I would say, but Naruto, you did something great today. You're truly going to become a hero one day, a good one. And Jiraiya would then say, Naruto, I know you're strong and I know you will become great, but you're just like your dad. You rush in when somebody's in trouble, and that's what I like about you. Just keep on regarding, just keep on doing your thing, and you'll become a great hero. Naruto would then hug Jiraiya and just say, you bet, pervy sage. Jiraiya would just scoff and just say, stop calling me that. While Todoroki's Omi actually asks where his father is, aka Endeavor, and his sister actually just says that he's in the room, basically raging out that, you know, All Might gave up and basically retired and he's now on number one. He just can't accept it. Todoroki's older sister would then look at Todoroki and just say, Todoroki, I met somebody nice and I'm actually dating them. Todoroki's eyes would open and say, who are you dating? She actually whispered in his ear and say, the Black Raven, aka Itachi Uchiha. Todoroki actually spit out his water and just say, Itachi Uchiha? His sister would then say, yeah, I'm pretty sure he has a brother. Does he go to the same school you do? And aren't you guys in the same class? Todoroki would just say, yeah, but then he would just run in his room and actually call Sasuke. Sasuke actually was going to call him because he actually heard the news that they're both dating. Todoroki's sister invites Sasuke and Itachi in their house, and they're actually going to explain how they met. Itachi then says that she was attacked by Orochimaru and that he saved her. Itachi then says it's unclear why Orochimaru tried to kidnap her, but he actually does say that he did not know this was Endeavor's daughter until like 3 months ago. Itachi then says that she's been working on his hero outfit. She's actually been helping him, and she actually visits my agency. Todoroki does say, does Endeavor know about this? Itachi just says, yeah, he's been knowing about it. He doesn't even mind it. Sasuke would then think to himself, say, if these two get married, that means Todoroki would be his brother-in-law. Sasuke would then gag and just say, oh god. Todoroki would say, what do you mean, oh god? Sasuke would just say nothing. Itachi would then look at Todoroki and Sasuke and say, can you two really get along for our sake? Sasuke would then look up and just say, yeah, I will. Todoroki would just say, I will. Do it for my sister's sake. Itachi would then say, I actually know she was quirkless as well, so I didn't really mind it. I don't really care if you have a quirk or anything. Todoroki's sister actually hugged Itachi, and Itachi would then say, well, Sasuke, let's get going. We should probably get home. Sasuke would just nod and say, yeah. This is where I'll be leaving off the what if. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. I really did myself. It's been the RedCloak. I'm gonna head up out of here. Like and subscribe if you're new, and I'm out. Peace. What's up guys, the RedCloak here, and today is the part 5 of What If Naruto is in My Hero Academia. I can understand it's not the most popular series on my channel, but I still like it, I still enjoy it, so I'm going to keep on giving you guys this if you guys keep on hitting that like button. Also, this clean ass recolor, I don't do this. It's actually my friend Toxic Anime. I'm going to link his channel in the description down below. He's really good at it. He's really good at recoloring these stuff, so I actually want to give him a shout out. So kudos to you, bro. Thank you. I don't think I'd ever do these what ifs without you, bro. With all that out the way, let's get right into that intro. Let's hit it.
Yeah, hold up, what the fuck? Hey, bass in the trunk, yeah. Shorty wanna fuck, but I'm busy getting bucks. If you know my fucking name, you know my music bumps. If you hate my fucking shit, you a motherfucking chump. Hey, ooh, yeah, damn, Billy stay high like a kite. Yeah, bitch, I blew up overnight. Yeah, you know the world around town. Hey, my diamonds bright like I light. Yeah, my music different, I'm right. Hey, my music different, I'm right. Yeah, who the fuck else sounds like this? Hey, my music different, I'm right. I don't give up.
Last part we left off, Bakugo was actually saved by Class 1A, well, some of Class 1A and Naruto, and so was Sasuke. All Might still retires, we actually Itachi and Shoto's sister's relationship, and now we're on Season 3, well, almost done with Season 3, so we'll get into that. I do think this is worth mentioning, the dorms are actually still a thing, and whoever wins the dorm's best room thing, I don't really care, unless you want to say Naruto somehow wins it. I still think Sato takes the cake, literally, in the challenge, or the competition. I do think Aizawa would actually still give him the lecture being model students, so yeah, I don't see that changing either. When it comes to making special moves for the provisional license exam. I think Naruto's would still be the Rasengan, so he has a head start. For Sasuke, I'm going to give him the Chidori, and for Gaara, we'll just give him the Sand Coffin. Nothing really changes. Sasuke actually has 3 special moves, which I will discuss in the later video, but right now, we're not going to discuss it until we actually really need it. But yeah, he has 3 special moves. Gaara, again, Sand Coffin. Class 1A would arrive on the bus and actually arrive to the place where they're supposed to get the provisional license. Class 1A would still meet Mrs. Joke's class, but we don't care about them. We're actually going to talk about who Naruto meets. The person who Naruto meets is Shugetsu High Teacher, and it's actually named Killer B. He could have been working at UA, but he decided to work at Shugetsu High. Naruto does tell Killer B that he knows his brother is actually trying to move up the ranks so he can be a top 5 hero. Killer B just says, yeah. Then Aizawa then tell him that he's a Jinchuriki just like you. Aizawa actually does say, maybe if you can pass your provisional license, you could train with Killer B and learn how to master your Nine Tails form. Killer B would then pat Naruto on the back and then say, good luck, and then he would actually walk away and say, you're gonna need it. The first round of the provisional license would actually begin, and Sasuke would actually start walking away, and so would Gaara. Gaara would then say, it'd be dumb if all of us stay together. It's best if we actually clear some ground and actually do this ourselves. Remember, we're not here to make friends, but you guys are my friends deep down. Jiro would actually shout at Gaara saying that's a bad idea and we all should stay together, but before she could finish that sentence, a high-speed ball would be coming her way, but Gaara actually defends her with his sand. Gaara would make a sand shield covering him and the rest of Class 1A that didn't leave. And now, Gaara is actually thinking that he should probably stay with the group so they don't get attacked. Gaara then says that Jiro's assessment was right and that he should stay with the group since he's the best defense that they have. Naruto is about to tell Gaara to keep this sand up for a long time, but before he can even say that, he feels earthquakes and tremors. And this is actually the person in Mrs. Joke's class, the guy with the vibrator quirk. Gaara would tell them all that this defense ain't gonna hold up for a long time, but then they all fall and actually get separated. Cut to Kakashi's point of view, he's trying to figure out who the hell are the Akatsukis and what do they want. They used to be a group for good, but now they're just mercenaries. They're hunting anything that they see fit. Kakashi actually looks at what the Akatsuki's victims have in common. They were all Jinchuriki. Kakashi puts 2 and 2 together, that they're after Jinchuriki, just like Naruto, Gaara, and Killer B. Kakashi has a weird gut feeling that the Akatsuki may attack the exam just to get Gaara, Naruto, and Killer B, but that's just in his gut. He doesn't know if he should report to the police or actually ask some heroes to actually go check it out. Right now, he's gonna ask Endeavor to go check it out, then sigh and just pray that the son of Minato will be alright. Naruto would actually get back up and actually just see that he can't find anyone else here, but he actually does hear Deku saying something. Naruto actually rushed to the voice of Deku, and you actually see that he's actually fighting Kami. Naruto actually saved Deku, and Deku would actually thank him. Naruto would say no problem, but he just says, who was that? Naruto would just say that girl dressed up, or basically pretended to be Uraraka. Naruto would say, wait, what, a transformation quirk? That's kinda weird. Uraraka, the real one, would actually show up, and Naruto would start asking her a series of questions. She would actually question why is he asking her this, but then he would just say, a clone, just don't worry about it. These 3 would actually work well together since they're in the same squad, like the Deku squad. Yeah, like this team would actually work well. Deku and Naruto and Uraraka would actually easily pass, and now we're actually going to switch over to Sasuke's point of view. Sasuke would be walking around looking for some targets. He actually doesn't find anyone. He actually sees his classmates split up, which would be Momo, Froppy, Shoji, and Jiro. He actually sighed and just say how'd they get split up this so quick. Sasuke would actually tell Shoji to actually give him the rundown of the situation. Shoji would do that, and then Sasuke would just say, might as well have to stay with you guys, but don't get in my way, okay? Momo would just then laugh and say, you don't need to be so cold, Sasuke. Sasuke would just sigh and just say, you're right. Well, just don't do anything stupid. Well, most of you. I know Momo won't do anything stupid. When Sasuke and the rest of the gang actually enter the building, they just notice it's a trap. Sasuke notices this and actually feels like the temperature is dropping, and Froppy actually falls asleep. Sasuke just says she went into hibernation, and Sasuke just says the people who are making the trap are behind this door. Sasuke then says that they're trying to weaken our quirks just so they can finish us off. Sasuke just makes a Chidori in hand and actually breaks down the door. Sasuke says he will eliminate some of them while you guys come up with a plan. Sasuke would actually use a ball and actually start throwing them, but he actually turned his sword into a baseball bat with lightning and actually starts striking them with the ball. I know the people who aren't in UA watch the UA Sports Festival, but they don't know Sasuke's full power. So they only know Sasuke being completely restrained. They actually think that Sasuke would actually get restrained by the coldness and actually get restrained by using some of his power, but Sasuke has a mastery over this curse mark thing. You think Sasuke, Momo, Froppy, Jiro, and Shoji would actually beat these girls and actually pass. So this means we're gonna go cut to Gaara's situation. Gaara would actually be stuck with Ida, Ayama, and the other people, and Gaara would actually try to defend them since he's their ultimate defense and kind of a good offense. And still, Gaara hears an explosion in the distance. First he thinks it's Bakugo basically being Bakugo, but then he just sees clay bombs. A lot of clay bombs. Gaara would actually cover everyone that he can, but everyone else who didn't get covered would actually be dead. Yes, Gaara does cover everyone in Class 1A and some of Mrs. Joke's class, so yeah. So this time, Gaara actually looks up and actually sees somebody on a clay dragon. The man would actually be named Deidara. He'd actually say that he's here to capture the 2 Jinchuriki here, and he'll be on his way. So basically, telling the other students to get out his way or he'll just kill them. The voices on the intercom would actually tell the students to evacuate, but the rest of Class 1A would actually charge into action trying to save their friend Gaara and everyone else in Class 1A. Miss Joe would actually try to run over to her class, but a man would stop her. She would actually try to tell a joke, but then she would be stabbed by a poisonous needle. The guy would actually just say jokes weren't really his forte, and basically that joke was kind of terrible. Man would be revealed to be Sasori of the Red Sand, and his quirk would be Puppet. Basically, you could do anything you could do in the Naruto series, and basically, yeah, he does still have the puppet body, so yeah, that's kind of difficult. Aizawa would try to jump in, but a man would actually kick him in the face and push him back. Mr. Aizawa knows that he must erase this guy's quirk and fish him off quickly so we can go evacuate the students, and that they can all run away and basically wait for the pros to come here. I was actually fighting off Datara pretty well until Datara used a clay bomb to actually destroy the whole place, but Gar actually defends the whole place with his sand. Gar actually feels clay bugs on his arm before it explode. Deku actually saves him and blitzes towards Gar, actually grabs him and actually pushes off the clay bugs off of him, and they would explode in the air. Deku would then tell Gar to not fight alone and that we're all here. Orochimaru would then pop out the cut, actually put 2 coffins down, then he would just say, "This is the reanimation quirk." And then everyone's just wondering, like, reanimation quirk? What does he mean? Only one person can have one quirk. That's not possible to have multiple quirks. Well, Orochimaru has been doing some experiments. Orochimaru does say that this quirk isn't mastered, but this is enough to actually destroy everyone here, to actually take his leave and just say good luck. The man who was actually revived would actually be Hashirama. This guy was rumored to actually be as strong as All Might or even stronger, but he died because of a sickness. Killer Bee would actually rush in and actually use a lariat to cut this guy's head off. Killer Bee would actually say that disgracing the dead is just a no-no and that they need to get put to rest again. Killer Bee's easily able to basically take these guys down, but still, their regeneration is still a pain in the neck, so he's fighting these guys for a long time until help arrives that could actually seal them away. Bakugo and Deku actually charge at Datara, and then Bakugo would just yell, "This bastard's copying my style." Datara would be fighting these two off until Todoroki, Sasuke, and Naruto jump in, and Datara is having a bad time with them. Like, he's having a hard time. You can't really dodge and weave them like you used to, because Sasuke and Naruto and Todoroki are here. Todoroki's here for the long range, and so is Sasuke and Naruto. It's at the point where Datara needs to ask for Sasori's help, because Datara can't really dodge and weave these guys, because he has 2 speed blitzers, no, my fault, 5 speed blitzers that could probably blitz him, and tries to attack Sasori when he takes off his Akatsuki robe, but they just see he's a pure puppet. Bakugo just says, "We shred him to pieces like the toy he is." Todoroki then tells everyone to stop and say, "The symbol on his chest, couldn't that be the weak point?" Bakugo would just yell and just say, "You really think that idiot would actually be that dumb enough to make that thing the weak point? He's not that stupid." Sasori actually does see that the rest of the classes and the schools are going to jump him, so basically he makes a gust cloud of poison to actually knock some people out. The only people that are actually awake by this is Deku, Bakugo, Sasuke, Todoroki, Naruto, Tokoyami, Kirishima, and the Baldy from Shigetsu High, and so is Killer Bee, but he's not a student, so no one cares. Wasuku's actually going faster than he usually is, and Deku just knows that he's using 20% of One For All, and he's okay. Deku just knows that the training may have gave him a good wake-up call to actually use 20%. Sasori just doesn't care what they're saying. He actually shoots a flamethrower at the rest of the group. Sasori can't really see because the fire is everywhere and he can't really see anything, but Sasuke is actually able to use this opportunity to actually make a spear with his sword and put the lightning on it and actually stab him through the heart. Well, not the heart, to the weak spot. Deku would rush in with a full Detroit smash and punch Sasori's head off, and this is looking very bad for Sasori because he knows he can't win this. Gar uses some of his sand to actually get some of the kids or some of the students out of there so they don't die in this explosion or die in some of Datara's explosions. While Kirishima actually runs in because he's basically a tank, the explosion don't really affect him. The Baldy from Shigetsu High is basically helping Gar and Kirishima, while Tokoyami's getting everyone out who's knocked out, and while, Datara is just having a hard time with these guys. Datara just knows all these guys are powerhouses, mostly the Baldy from Shigetsu High. His wind stuff is kind of difficult to get past. Not only that, Kirishima's kind of tanking his explosions, and Kirishima would actually jump up in the air, actually headbutt Datara so hard, Datara can barely even be awake or conscious, but Datara does get back up, but he's bleeding from his forehead. Datara then thinks this is a bad time to actually get the Jinchuriki, so he does a fake explosion to catch everyone off guard, which Gar has to protect everyone. Gar actually see at nothing until Datara would just leave. Datara is out of here. He does not want the smoke with these 3, so he just dips. Sasori would, this time as a distraction, he would book it out of here too with Datara, and both of them would yeet it. Students that fought the Akatsuki members are basically tired, and they basically have not enough energy to basically keep going, so all of them collapse on the ground, kind of tired. Endeavor and Itachi would arrive on the scenes, and they would just see students on the ground knocked out, or either dead. And then Itachi would just get pissed and just look for Sasuke, but Sasuke is actually knocked out. Well, not really knocked out, he's still conscious, but he's basically tired. Itachi would then use his armored Susanoo and use the Tosca blade on Hashirama and Tobirao. He would just tell them get put to rest, and then he would just say, "Where's Aizawa?" Killer Bee, kind of tired and injured, actually tell him that he's still fighting Kabuto probably. Itachi would then rush over there, but he would just see that Aizawa completely subdued Kabuto. Kabuto's on the ground, basically in handcuffs, and Aizawa would just say, "I'm kind of tired out from this fight." Before Itachi says anything, Kabuto would turn into mud. Itachi would just think, Twice's quirk can't handle this type of pressure that much. This must have been enhanced by Orochimaru. Itachi would then say, let's go get the other students that are still alive and actually take them out of here. I was kind of feeling the type of way about this because, one, he's supposed to be the next symbol of peace. He's supposed to be the one that no one should fear when he's here. He's supposed to be the one to protect the weak, and he just allowed this to happen to a lot of people in a lot of schools, all students, and 20% of the students are dead here. Well, now this is kind of making him feel like he's not worthy right now, but Itachi does tell him that you are worthy, but we will be able to stop these guys. Sasuke and Deidara are attacked. Sasuke and Deidara is able to escape because they weren't able to get Gar and Naruto, but most students from other schools died, not from Class 1A though. And a huge change, everyone gets their provisional license, so Bakugo and Todoroki don't get singled down. They don't have to go to that stupid intermediate classes. So yeah, that's actually good for the rest of the class. Now, I do still see Bakugo and Deku fighting, Bakugo knowing the truth about One For All, and about All Might gave Deku his powers. And in my honest opinion, I don't think it's time for Naruto to learn the truth about Deku having One For All yet. That's probably going to be sooner or later in the series, so don't worry guys. Before we end off Season 3, I do want to talk about something who isn't going to be relevant until Season 5. It's about Shinso. Even though he's only training with Aizawa and now Might Guy, he's learning some good capabilities and good ideas and tricks from them. Occasionally, Kakashi comes to train with him too, but his main mentors are basically just Guy and Aizawa. I don't want to spoil anything that he's going to get for like the Season 5 part of this series, but still, he's very strong and stronger than he was in the original, so be prepared when Season 5 comes out. I'm definitely going to showcase how strong this guy is. Now, the tricky thing about Overhaul in Season 4, will he still attack the League of Villains and kill Big Sis Magna and kind of rip off Mr. Compress's arm, because the League of Villains is actually allied with the Akatsuki, so maybe it seems like he's risking it, but I'm going to say he actually still does. Let me clear up this misconception. The Akatsuki are not a part of the League of Villains, they're just helping out, but if they feel like this help is not really given, they're just going to pull out the idea. Not only that, the Akatsuki are not even in the League of Villains base, so I think the same thing happens in the canon. Overall, basically bops like 2 people, well, only kills Big Sis Magna and rips off Mr. Cress's arm, and he just leaves. He just tells them that when they cool off, they can have a talk. When it comes down to internships, I do think it's pretty obvious that Gar is going to go with his father, and that Sasuke's probably go back with Itachi, because, you know, he only went with Kakashi just to learn a couple of things, and Tokoyami's obviously going to go with Hawks this time. For Bakugo, I really don't know what internship he's going to go to. Honestly, you guys can comment down below which internship you guys want him to go to. It doesn't really matter because the season really revolves around him. Todoroki's obviously going to go with Endeavor because it's his father. You know, for Naruto, he has no idea who to go with because, one, Jiraiya doesn't have an agency, and he's not really a pro hero, so we can't really go with him. Naruto was just thinking to himself, who can I possibly go to? Aizawa would then see Naruto struggling, just help out and just tell him to go with Killer B. And Naruto remembered Killer B from the provisional license exams, and he just noticed that he did control his 8 tails, maybe he can learn how to control the 9 tails. Naruto then thanked Mr. Aizawa, and he would be off to find Killer B and his agency. When Naruto enters the agency, he sees Killer B actually writing down some lyrics for a new song, and Naruto would just push him and just say, yo, old man, could you train me? Killer B would actually see this coming and actually push Naruto out the way and just say, you want to train under me? Well, that's fine, but there's one thing you must do. It's to get a hit on me, and I'll stamp your form, and you'll be in my agency. Naruto would then get in a fight, and Stance just rushed at Killer B, and Killer B would easily dodge because he's just so fast. Naruto can't really predict where he is. Naruto would actually remark that this guy is as fast as Deku. Naruto would create a Rasengan and try to hit, Killer B with it, but Killer B would easily dodge and actually flip Naruto over and hit him with a judo throw, then push him to the wall. Naruto would just remark that this guy is very, very fast, and he can't even hit him. Naruto is basically looking silly right now, and Killer B is running circles around him. Naruto really doesn't want to rely on the 9 tails too much because, 1, he wants to face Killer B by himself, 2, this is a training session, and 3, even if worse does come to show, he feels like he could touch Killer B, actually tag him. Naruto is still trying to keep up with Killer B, but Naruto again is still getting ran around, and Killer B easily blitzes behind him and kicks him in the back and slams him to the wall. Naruto will try to hit him with another Rasengan, but Killer B catches the Rasengan and just twists Naruto's arm. Naruto's Rasengan will dissipate, and Killer B just thinks he won until a vanishing Rasengan hits him right in the back of the head. Killer B would then ask Naruto when did he learn that move, and Naruto just said he'd been training a lot, and he knew that anyone he internship with would want to know how strong he is. Killer B would then tell Naruto to come with him, that he's going to learn how to control the 9 tails, or just steal some of its power. Naruto and Killer B would actually set up the ritual, and this would actually mean Naruto would actually face off against the 9 tails. Killer B just tells him good luck, because most of the people who fought the 9 tails were pro heroes, and they lost. And even All Might and Endeavor and Minato struggled, so good luck. Naruto was actually trying to have a small talk with the 9 tails to actually try to steal its chakra, but the 9 tails just not having it, just breaks out of the barrier and starts fighting Naruto. It's kind of reminiscent from the run-in canon in Naruto, but Naruto's a little bit weaker, well, way weaker, and he doesn't have the big Rasengan or the giant Rasengan, so yeah. Naruto's doing decently well. He's not dead yet, but the Nine Tails is just really just trying to get past him so we just get out, because Naruto knows if he loses this battle, the Nine Tails is going to roam free, and he is going to rampage, and no one's going to stop him besides probably Endeavor or Itachi. Everything's going all good for Naruto until Kurama decides, screw it, I'm shooting a Tail Beast Bomb at you. He's charging it up until Killer Bee uses a Gyuki hand and actually blocks it for Naruto and tells Naruto to do it now. Naruto grabs onto Kurama, and he actually starts pulling out the power from Kurama. Kurama is basically trying to stop Naruto until chains pin him down, and that is Kushina. And Minato's soul is actually helping Naruto pull out the Nine Tails power, and basically Naruto actually does get it, and he would awaken from his deep slumber. Naruto then wake up, and he would just see nothing but a yellow aura around him. KCM has finally been unlocked. But Killer Bee just tells him this form doesn't really seem to be stable, and Naruto would completely go out of it. Naruto would still try to access the form, but it's kind of difficult. He would access it again, but he just knows that his time limit is 5 minutes, so that's not really enough time. So this is used as a last resort, Killer Bee would say. Killer Bee would also tell Naruto not to show it off to his friend because 1, he needs to conserve energy because they don't know how long it's going to take to recharge, and 2, it should be Drooling because that shit's icy as a Naruto and Killer Bee would actually be going on patrol most of the times until they get called for the Chiha Saikai stuff. Basically, the overhaul arc is actually going to start now, and Naruto is going to be involved. No Sasuke or Gaara though. The same team is assembled just with Naruto in it and Killer Bee. So yeah, things are looking pretty interesting for this arc. Everything will go as per normal, basically everyone going to the Saikai base, raiding it. Kirishima is still versus Rappa with Fat Gum. It's just that, Killer Bee is here, but he's with the whole group that's running after Overhaul. And Overhaul would still versus Lemillion and get his ass whooped, but Overhaul would actually still erase Lemillion's quirk. It's looking like, Overhaul is about to kill my boy Lemillion, but Overhaul actually gets slapped in the face by a tentacle, and that is from Killer Bee and the rest of the squad. The bad thing is, Killer Bee's in a cramped space and he can't use Tail Beast Bombs because it's gonna incinerate my boy Overhaul, so nah, that's not gonna happen. Overhaul could easily bob and weave and actually use the ground to his advantage, and he would actually get some good hits in on Gyuki. Overhaul makes spikes on the ground, actually hits Gyuki, and Gyuki can't really get away because, again, he doesn't have legs, and so Killer Bee decides that it's best he stays in his normal state because he's more mobile. Killer Bee would fight Overhaul, but his body would then stop and slow down, and that same guy with the slow down quirk they use on Aizawa, I do think that Killer Bee would get hit with it, so would Aizawa, and so Naruto and Deku have to run up the front lines, and this would actually mean that your boy Night Eye is dead. Well, he's about to die, but he still gets hit. With Deku and Naruto working together, they're actually able to get some good hits in on Chisaki, or aka my boy Overhaul, but Overhaul is doing very well, and Night Eye actually has a prediction that both Naruto and Deku will die against Overhaul. Overhaul will go in that weird monster state, and basically Deku would still grab area like in canon, and Deku would actually start charging up one for all and go 100%. Naruto then see Deku go up to the sky and find Chisaki, and Naruto and Deku would look back at each other, and Deku would just tell him, sorry, but I'm leaving you in the dust, and Naruto just smiled and started laughing. Chisaki wants to know what the hell is this kid laughing about, and Naruto just says, the ace up my sleeve. Naruto then transforms his KCM form, and Deku would just say, I'm impressed, and let's see if you can keep up. Both of them would start running at Chisaki, and Chisaki has no way to dodge this. He's just getting mollywopped by both of them. They're both equally matched in speed, but Deku has the advantage in strength. Chisaki has no way to actually counter both of these guys, so he's just taking the hits, and then Deku would actually use a full Detroit Smash, while Naruto would do the same, but this time he would use a large Rasengan and shove it into Chisaki's face, and this would actually mean Chisaki would get knocked out and get negged by the two goats. Aries rewind thing would actually go out of hand until, Deku and Aizawa would actually stop her, well, mostly Aizawa, and Naruto would just collapse due to the exhaustion of using this form at its fullest, and he would be in the hospital laying down with Ochako and Froppy actually near him, and when he wakes up, he just wants to know what happened. Where's Deku and where's Eri and where's Lemillion and where is Night Eye? Naruto then goes to Night Eye's hospital bed, and when he sees the final words of him basically saying goodbye to everyone, Naruto would be a little bit sad, but it would make him strive harder to become the best hero he can. Killer Bee would then tell him that we have more training to do, but you should probably get some rest and go back to school. I think everything after this arc would play out as per normal. Basically, they would all go back to school, everyone would greet them, it'd actually be excited that everyone's back and okay, and I think, the festival thing, it doesn't matter what role Naruto, Sasuke, and Gaara plays, it just doesn't really matter. The gentle fight, it's going to go as normal, so let's get into the pro hero arc. I think I'm just going to go through the leaderboards pretty quickly. Number 1 is definitely Endeavor. Number 2 is Itachi Uchiha. Number 3 is Hawks. Number 4 is actually Edgeshot. Number 5 is Mirako. Number 6, I'm gonna say it's gonna be the Raikage. Number 7 was supposed to be Gar's dad, but he's missing right now. I wonder why. And the rest, you can probably just look it up in the anime. So y'all good. Hawks would actually tell Endeavor and Itachi to see him because he has some information on the Nomus until the High Nomu would actually come crashing in the window they're in. Now for High Nomu versus Endeavor, I do think it just plays out similar, but Endeavor just beats him a lot quicker because Itachi's here. We can just say that Itachi probably just seals him away with the Tosca blade because again, the High Nomu is not really a human. So Itachi seals it away, and Endeavor doesn't really have that I am here moment, but Itachi kind of has it himself. But Itachi just gives Endeavor the credit, but Endeavor doesn't want that. We don't really have that moment where, Todoroki's actually worrying about Endeavor. That moment's probably not going to happen if Itachi beats the High Nomu. Maybe Sasuke worries about Itachi, but no one really cares. So yeah, when Endeavor beats up the High Nomu, and the High Nomu is basically on its last legs, which it barely is because it can regenerate, I think Itachi would just decide that this thing, it cannot be redeemable, so he's just going to seal with the Tosca blade. And knowing the High Nomu, it likes taking hits, to be honest. It really does. So I don't really see it dodging the Tosca blade. It's probably just going to look at it and probably just say, oh, what's this thing? But the High Nomu is very smart, so I don't think it's probably standing around like an idiot. Before we end this off, as I would actually tell Naruto that Killer Bee is reported missing, they don't know what happened to him, and he's gone missing, and basically his agency is shut down, so Naruto might have to find a new one, but just not right now until the time comes. And this is where we'll end off this series until season 5 comes out.